Interesting. So you're obviously hunting lions, bears. Do you hunt lions and bears with the same pack of dogs?
I do. Yep. Every dog I got will hunt both. It's a transition period. When we come out of bear season, it normally takes me a month to get them dogs to slow them down a little bit to switch over to the lion side. Switching back to the bears ain't normally as tough, but it does take a little bit of time to get them to slow down to trailing on the bear side. I think obviously it can be done because we do it. But I think if you wanted to be even more successful on the lion side, I think do like Cleve and Becky and just have a pack of lion dogs that are bred a little bit different, where they're a little bit slower speed. Guys will tell you speed catches game, and I'll agree, speed catches bear. Consistency catches lion. You get these dogs are overrunning these lion tracks, and for every minute it takes that dog to fix that loose, correct that loose, that lion's gaining on him, you know. Whether the lion knows he's being pursued or not, he still may be on his feet gaining, or even if the lion ain't on his feet, the sun's gaining on you, melting that scent out. So if them dogs should go from track to track to track to track, you're going to catch more lion, I think. Like I say, we do it and we're successful at it, but maybe not as successful as people like Cleve or people that strictly hunt lion.
Well, I think that if you specialize, you can be best at the thing you specialize in. It's nice to hear someone who's hound hunting, you know, bear, because there's a lot of information. Oh, I would only keep my bear dogs on bears, my lion dogs on lions. But for the guys who are not doing this professionally, it's nice to know that you can do both. At least for me, because I want to hunt my dogs on everything I can.
Yep.
And because I'm not going to keep 30 dogs and have 15 bear dogs and 15 lion dogs.
Oh, it would kill me to leave dogs in camp.
Yeah.
Just drive me nuts.
Yeah. No, I don't think I could do that. So it's good to hear. Will your dogs run a line on the dirt? We were sort of talking about in the desert before.
Yeah. And we trail around on them up here. We're just not as successful up here as we have been down south. But yeah, we catch them in the dirt too.
Will you take a client on a dirt hunt?
Yeah.
Really?
We took 2 clients down there on that. We killed 2 lions down there.
How long would you book that hunt for?
You know, I think if a man was going to go down there and hunt in the dirt, I would push for a 7-day hunt instead of a 5. So those 2 extra days make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, you hear about sort of the old timers who they book people for a 14-day hunt, and that's a serious level of commitment from a client.
Well, I know 2 other outfitters that are in that southern part of the state that are, one's booking 9-day hunts and one's booking 10-day hunts, and they're successful. So
I'm sure.
Can't argue with it.
Yeah.
Sure. And you never know. You know, you may catch one on the first day. You never know. But.
Yeah. We were talking earlier before we started about sort of the differences that you've had in the way you hunt between you different guys, and sort of all ways are equal, but we can have our different style.
I probably just blew your mic.
No, you're fine. It's okay. But you can have a different style to how you hunt. What is your favorite style of hunting?
You know, I used to think the way I hunted was the right way, and the way everybody else hunted was the wrong way. But I've, in the last year, I've realized there's multiple ways of hunting, and there is no wrong way or right way. The only wrong way and right way is the right way for you and the wrong way for you. Just because I may hunt a little different, you don't mean that your way of hunting is wrong, and vice versa. I've got a guide that I think highly of, and he's taught me a lot. When I hunt bear, I like to, especially if it's a cold track, you know, you get you a couple dogs started on that track and they freshen that track up good. Once they get it rolling good, they'll pack to them. I'll send every dog I got in my box and pack into them. This guy's a little different. He'll send a couple of young dogs and a couple of old dogs to start that track. That's just what he leaves on it, and they catch it. They're done. You know, I'll have a bear walking and fighting, and I'll call and say, "Hey, bring me some dogs over." And he'll show up, and how many dogs you got there? And I'll tell him, and he's like, "You want to put more in on it?" And the opposite, you know, he'll have one bait up, and I'll call him, "How's it going?" I'm walking one. "Well, you want some more dogs?" "No, I'm good." And he'll have 3 or 4 dogs on it, you know. And but he catches game and catches just as much game as I do. So there's no wrong way and there's no right way.
So it's working as well for him as turning out every dog he has.
It does, and honestly, I put more staples in dogs than he does. And I don't think it's that my dogs are grittier than his. I think it's they feed off each other. That adrenaline, that they feed off of each other, and it
But nothing
makes them grittier, I guess.
nothing exists in a vacuum. So that's not my dog, is it? So effectively, they are grittier
Go on.
because in that circumstance, they're when they're packed up like that, they're acting grittier. You're good, man. It doesn't really matter. So some guys say, oh, if you got, the minimum number of dogs, it lets the dogs get out of the way when the bear turns around and they get hurt less. Or some guys say, throw as many in there as you can and all the commotion, puts them up the tree faster and keeps them safe. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I used to think the more pressure you put on them, the quicker you're going to get them to climb. But like I say, hunting with this one of my guides, I disagree. I think that bear's going to do what he wants to do. I don't know. There's a fine line in there. I think eventually, yeah, you can put enough pressure on a bear to make him stop. But if the bear's in a mood to walk and fight, he's in a mood to walk and fight. I don't care if you got 25 dogs on him. I've been down that road. And then you get bears that are just too big to climb. We've seen that before.
And do you think if you have a lot of dogs on that bear, you're more likely to get it bait up?
I think eventually that bear's going to get tired and sore-footed and he's going to stop one way or another. Maybe with me dumping, 10 dogs on a bear, he may stop and bay up quicker than somebody that dumps 3 or 4 dogs on him. But I think eventually he's going to stop for both packs. Like I say, we've kind of proven that. That guide of mine kind of showed me that, and I can't argue with him because it works.
Yeah, but I think that's sort of a question of outcome, and in both situations you're getting a similar outcome, so you can't say one's better than the other.
Yeah.
But there is a question of how do you like to do things, and particularly if you're not a professional. Like for me, if I want to do it the way I want to do it, that's important, right?
I want to get puppies and everything I can in there on it. And the more game you should, even an old dog, you got an 8-year-old dog that's seen tons and tons of game. I don't care. You keep showing them more game and they're going to keep getting better. Same with the puppies, when I'm fighting one, I want to get many dogs in there to experience it as I can. Right or wrong, that's what works for me. Like I say, some people it's different.
And what's your favorite way to hunt in terms of if someone was to say you can only hunt, this way for the rest of your life, whether it's rigging a bear, free casting, for lines on dirt, or cutting a line track in the snow, what's your ideal method of hunting?
Not in the snow. I get tired of looking at holes in the snow.
Yeah.
For line, I like to free cast, and there's days that I like to free cast for bear, but I enjoy the rigging side of it too. And kind of the way we hunt is we do a little haul of it. If we'll rig till 9 o'clock or so in the morning. If we hadn't turned something up, we'll walk off into a canyon where we know there's going to be a bear or should be a bear. So we do a little bit of both, but I enjoy the rigging side, but I also enjoy the free casting too. So.